Hi, welcome to another episode of Why Didn't They Laugh? I'm doing a video version and this will also be audio. I'm doing video because you kind of have to see this guy. The name of this episode is Dan the Man. And it all happened in Pittsburgh. I did 5 shows and they were all so different for so many reasons. And this one is a great example of dancing with a madman. A lot of twists and turns, a lot of things I discovered about Dan, why I believe he is the man. He's a very eccentric character. He's in the front row. This is why it pays to have a high alcohol tolerance in this line of work, because at one point I had to straight up outdrink Dan. Yeah. Right now, I'm in a hotel room. As you can see, I am in Fort Myers, Florida. Right back where it all started, baby. My first episode, Caesar salad. If you go back to the beginning of my podcast, that happened here. And I'm here for New Year's. We're going to see what happens. And I'm here with my wife, Amy, and my son, Walter. We just went to the beach. It was gorgeous. Amy looked amazing. Walter looked very happy. Kid's usually pretty happy. He sometimes spirals. Tried to put a hat on him. Kind of freaked out. But he's such a good kid. I love being able to... When I'm going to a city that... I'm not going to call it shitty, but not beautiful, I don't take them. Although I like to be around them, I almost feel like I prefer to get in my zone. When I'm just on a highway cranking comedy, I don't want to have to think about their feelings. But when I'm going to a beautiful place like Fort Myers, or a fun place like New York City or San Francisco, or, you know, that's when they get to come. Or Miami, or did I already say Miami? Hawaii. I just went for a jog, that's why I'm a little sweaty. Alright, so this is how it started. By the way, I haven't even updated my website in a little bit. London, pick up some tickets. I'm doing the Impractical Jokers tour with a bunch of legends. I get to open for them. I'm honored to open for them. And they're doing 10 giant arenas. And so as long as I was there, I had some UK fans reach out to me and asked me to stay a couple extra days and just do a couple small spots so that they could see the whole piano stuff and everything. So I'm doing a play. I can't remember, guys. I'll put the link in the bio of this. But I know one of them is called the Museum of Comedy. I'm doing for 3 days. Seats 70 people. Should be nice and intimate. But I've never done London, so I gotta make sure they're full so I don't look like an asshole. And then the Monday, I'm doing a place called... I have a computer in front of me, but I don't even know how to find it. What do I Google? Where am I going to be in London? I don't know, but it's a sweet spot. A listener who's become my friend recommended it and figured out all the details. Yeah, but I'm flying right there from this gig, so I won't be able to bring any beer coasters or anything. I already sold all my merch. Lately I've been just giving it away, and I know that's really bad for capitalism, because I am a capitalist. I like acquiring cash, but people get so happy, you know, because there's certain times when I'm looking at the crowd and I can tell they're bummed out by their bills. Like, I can tell that they got the bill and they didn't realize it was going to be as expensive as it was, and it just kills me to be like, yeah, 20 bucks for this. So lately when I see the crowd get like upset, I just give all the shit away. And they just get so pumped. Probably not a great long-term situation, but why isn't it? You know, I could start giving stuff away. I don't know. Amy tells me not to, but you know, she's concerned about our son. All right, so this is how it all started. Somebody tweeted me that their daughter was turning 21 that night, and she was really sweet about it, and she asked me if I could give her a shout out. So like a good psycho, of course I go for alcohol, but this is how it all started. This is in Pittsburgh like a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. All right. I gotta get a drink for somebody. Is there Nicole in the crowd? Where's Nicole at? 21st birthday? Nicole and Trevor? Is that second show? So, Nicole? Yeah, your mom tweeted me that you were coming. I don't know Nicole, but her mom's very nice. I'm gonna buy you around. What do you want to drink? What's that? Nothing? You breaking Frosty's face again? I'm just kidding. You don't drink? What about Trevor? You want a drink, bro? You know what? Fuck both of you. Does anyone want to do a shot with me? That guy, let's do it. Do you like vodka? Happy birthday, though, for real. Oh, I didn't see you there. No, I'm just kidding. I'm stupid. I just pretended, for those of you listening, I just pretended I was doing blow, but I wasn't. Anyway, that clip made me laugh because Amy pointed that out to me this weekend. We're in at her place where her parents live in Seattle, outside of Seattle, and we were all hanging out with all the grandparents and babies and brother-in-laws and parents, and she always laughs when I first come off the road because I just done Phoenix and I wasn't with her, and I always come in aggressive. She calls it coming in hot. You're coming in hot. Like I just started making fun of everyone at the table, and I treated everyone like a heckler. But it works great live, not so great at a dinner table. Like for example, this, I'm trying to do a good thing, and I totally respect that people don't drink, but I felt a little vulnerable. So I said, fuck those guys, even though it was their birthday. And then I desperately searched the crowd for another lunatic like myself. Let's see what's up next. All right, cheers. What's your name, bud? Dan. Dan the man. Cheers. Where'd you get those? Those are pretty badass. It's a good thing I ate like an eighth of mushrooms before going on stage tonight, because that... Are you on mushrooms right now? It's not a social drug. That's like a once a year, like go in the forest drug. It's not like a, well, just have some mushrooms and go to Dave & Buster's and just hang out. You came from Dave & Buster's? What's your favorite game to play over there? How great is Dave & Buster's? I love that Dave and Buster probably were kids one day, and there's like some dickhead teacher. It was like, oh, Dave and Buster just want to play games all day. And then they came back, they threw a fucking $1 billion at the bitch's feet. And they're like, yeah, Dave and Buster like to play games. And so it begins, my tango with Dan the man. That is Dan. He's the man. He's wearing a neon green shirt, and he just fist bumped me. And you guys probably couldn't hear it, but that's why I called him an animal, because he was just like, nay. All right, so this is how our story began. All right, cheers. What's your name, bud? Dan. Dan the man. Cheers. Where'd you get those? Those are pretty badass. It's a good thing I ate like an eighth of mushrooms before going on stage tonight, because that... Are you on mushrooms right now? It's not a social drug. That's like a once a year, like go in the forest drug. It's not like a,
Let's just have some mushrooms and go to Dave & Buster's and just hang out. You came from Dave & Buster's? What's your favorite game to play over there? How great is Dave & Buster's? I love that Dave and Buster probably were kids one day and there was like some dickhead teacher. It was like, oh, Dave and Buster just want to play games all day. And then they came back, they threw a fucking $1 billion at the bitch's feet. And they're like, yeah, Dave and Buster like to play games.
Okay, so it's on now. What we have now learned about Dan, the man, is that he's probably on mushrooms. He was just at Dave & Buster's, and they made me wear a mask. They were like, it looked like one of those, you know, and all these people I'd say are between 45 and 60. And it looked like one of those sex party masks. And as the comedian, I can't back down when challenged. So I put on the mask and I pointed at my penis, I believe. And now we continue. Here's some more with Dan the man.
I see one of these little hipsters with a "War is not the answer" bumper sticker. I make him pull over and then I force him to suck my dick. I'm not even gay. It's a principle thing. All right, here we go. I'm like, how committed to peace are you little fuckers? Cheers to you, man. Awesome, Dan. Dan the man, you want to do me a favor?
Okay. If you're keeping track, our shot count is now at 2. There may have been a third in there that I forgot to edit. But, oh, so the reason I played that part about sucking dicks is because I wanted to, for long-time listeners, I wanted to give a little update on Full Bellies, Empty Balls joke. I've learned, because of the book, A Billion Wicked Thoughts. It's all, I talked about in one of the other episodes about there was like a research team that looked at literally billions of searches for porn across all demographics and genders and all that stuff, and had this massive study about what people really fantasize about. And the difference between men and women was shocking. And I came up with this theory because I always thought that women loved big dicks. And I think it's more that they love the confidence that comes with a big dick. Because, you know, when you have a big penis, you feel good about it just because other dudes have told you it's sweet. So you're always like, yeah, look at my sweet dick. And then women are like, yeah, look at how confident this guy is. But when you actually break down porn, women don't look up huge cocks as much as even heterosexual men. And of course gay men, all about the huge cocks. But so anyway, why am I talking about this? Because the ending of that joke where I talked about I made him pull over and suck my dick, it's about the "War is not the answer" bumper sticker on a Prius, and I do this whole thing about what really is the answer, and it's Full Bellies, Empty Balls. It's a long joke. And something fascinating about that book is there's this concept of the male gaze, where men are like pervs, you know? And we are. So are women, but it's a different type. Women are more into like reading porn. Men are into just seeing it go in. There's a lot of crossover, especially with bisexual women. You can read it all in the book. But that men like objectify women in porn, you know? That they just look at they break them up into physicalities. And they just, it's kind of objectifying, and women find it insulting or hot, depending on if they're ovulating. But the thing I found fascinating is men also do it to men. Like gay men, gay porn apparently is shot the same way straight porn is shot. Like heterosexual porn, I should say, not straight porn. And it's all about, you know, big dicks and fucking, and the lens is always looking at the penetration and the dominance and all this shit. So I altered the joke to make sure it was a dude that I said I'd make him suck my dick. Because crowds laugh completely when you objectify men. And if you objectify women, you're gonna 20% will not laugh. And it's not that they won't like you, you'll get them back. It's not like there's this big thing, but they just have this reaction like that they've been objectified, they've seen those eyes on them that they didn't want, or the advances they didn't want, or God forbid they are actually a victim of a sex crime. And that is not the thing I want to trigger in people. So I found this trick where if you use a man, it's always a get out of jail free card. Okay, so now back to Dan the man. Dan, I realized that my keyboard is too low, and so I'm now asking them for help. Any serial killer will say this is a bad decision because now I kind of owe them, and things escalate. Now this other dude comes out on stage, but Dan is just, and we're doing shots and it's escalating.
Now that's too short. This will be all right. That'll work. Do you got OCD, Dan? You really do have OCD? Like when you take mushrooms, is it like, it has to be a perfect circular mushroom? Really? That's fucking hilarious. Dan, you're such an interesting person. I'm serious. Like, what do you do for a living? Are you like, what do you do? A lobbyist? You just hang out in lobbies? What do you lobby for? Oil and gas, nice. That's cool. What kind of gas? Oh, nice. Natural. Is there artificial gas? Like, isn't that redundant? Like natural gas. Like, is someone else like, dude, I lobby for artificial gas. Big what? Big beans? No, I feel like farts are more natural than the shit you pull out of the ground. I'm all about it, man. That's all good. Can I explain to you how much of a legend Dan is? Dan is a guy who's currently wearing a polo shirt with an orange undershirt, sleeves, right? He's a lobbyist for oil, and he loves mushrooms and Dave & Buster's. He has OCD, but he's still the only guy willing to party with me. Like, you may be my favorite person I've ever met in the world. Yeah, you're fucking in the zone. What are you drinking right now? Margarita. Is it because it's an even number of letters? Okay. I have a little bit of OCD. You want to see my OCD shit? It's all piano. How about this? This is a song about Pittsburgh traffic. Hang on.
Okay, so at this point, and by the way, this is all verified by the reaction of his group. He's with 6 or 7 people. And they're dying laughing because I'm just stating facts. These are the facts that I have now recorded since watching these videos about Dan. He is probably on mushrooms. He just got back from Dave & Buster's. He has OCD and loves booze. He's a lobbyist for oil and gas. Possibly came from a sex party, loves fist bumping, is wearing orange sleeves and a neon collared shirt over it, and drinks margaritas. Okay, let's see what we have next.
Now I am mad. I start to go, I hope you know I'm loco. I will not stop. By the way, is this crooked? Dude, I just said outside. I've never seen a human as happy as a dog when I say outside. I go, that's crooked. He's like, ah! nothing, so you're like on a list. You're like, hey, improv, you haven't tapped 7 times before giving me the margarita. Like, you probably have a whole litany. All right, here we go. I'll do another shot, yeah. Now that I know you're a fucking lobbyist, you gotta buy me all my shit all night. I buy you a fucking shot, son of a bitch. This song's called Canon in D.
Okay, so now we're on our 4th shot. And the guy screaming is Dan the man, who's like, fuck yeah! Because the keyboard I was using was crooked, it was on a slant. And so, the fact I acknowledged that, he lost his mind with happiness. I also want to kind of point out, isn't it great how much better the audio is this week than last week? Last week's episode was all about bad audio, so check that out. But it makes me really happy. Yeah, and as you can see, this is chaos, but it's safe chaos. The whole crowd is now watching the Owen and Dan show. They're not bored. They're not losing interest. They are engaged because Dan is the man. Let's see what's up next.
It's still crooked? By the way, Dan's freaking out right now because it's still crooked. I got you, bud. I got you. Hang on. That's why I used a bottle and not a plate, because you have an unlimited amount of options. It goes like this. Another shot? Great. Dan, I'm gonna ask you a big favor though. You gotta let the big bear focus. I love you to death. You're my favorite person. You're my spirit animal. But I gotta get through a joke. And I feel like me and you could just like talk. All right, cheers to you, man. But you're still ordering me another shot with that lobby money.
I'm still doing material. I'm just showing you the clips that are insane. But, you know, Dan is being a little needy at this point. And when I fixed the keyboard, like, because we were using a plate to make it even, and it wasn't quite even. So I took an empty beer bottle, and I got to use the beer bottle because it was curved. So I got to push it until it was the perfect level for Dan the man, and he lost his mind. And I know I could condense these, but I only like to chop up videos when I'm putting them on Instagram and I'm trying to get them under a minute. I love the spaces. I love when things just play out. I feel like it feels dishonest to me when comedy's too edited, because you can make it whatever you want. I like to show you the whole thing. And oh, for my Patreon listeners, for Christmas, I put up a picture of a $100 Amazon card, and I just said whoever sees this first can have it. And this dude I met in St. Louis, who's a comedian, actually got it. He was first on, and I think he's giving it all to like the comedians in St. Louis. This dude's awesome. I love this guy. And you can hear them on my Case Closed, my last Case Closed Beers Open episode. I used some St. Louis comedians as some of the actors in my fake world. All right, let's see what happens next.
Where are you from? Pitt, nice. How do you get into lobbying? Are you just good at hanging? Like, you're literally like, who wants a steak? Now vote for this shit, right? Like, how do you do that? Really? Could I be a lobbyist for something? Get me in, boys. Yeah, I want to lobby for like fun shit. Like, see, I'm not a big mushroom guy. The last time I did mushrooms, I kept. No, but I trip well. I'm like, I thought I could paint with a tulip, but it's a big commitment. We'll talk after. I'm more of a booze, little bit of Adderall guy. That's my shit. I don't even like blow. I don't like any of that shit. I just like a little Adderall, a lot of booze. A lot of water. I'm big at hydration. It's the simple things, Dan. I don't get hungover, Dan. I'm a man. I'm just kidding. Dan's obviously a man. I nicknamed him Dan the Man. So anyway, this song, women love this song.
As you can see, I haven't even gotten through the Canon G joke yet. And I'm now asking them if they can make me a lobbyist, which they were very receptive to. That's a fun part about being a comedian is I think I could do like a bunch of careers if I wanted to because of all the people I've met. Like I'll meet people that are like, yeah, man, you can totally be mayor of this town. I'll make you mayor. And I'm like, can I be mayor until Sunday? Then I have to go home. They're kicking me out of my hotel. And they're like, bro, you can be mayor. All right, but now you can see a little tension with Dan the Man. I told him he had to, I can't remember. I can't remember what just happened. I got so focused on what we were just talking about. I know I was talking about Adderall. Me and Shane Moss were talking about this. I had Shane Moss on the podcast like a year ago. And we're talking about how dudes like us, like me and him, actually have attention deficit disorder. Not bad. I can still focus. I was fine in school, but I think in systems, so it's really hard for me to stay on one thing. And Adderall helps me focus because it does the opposite of what it does to most people. A lot of people, Adderall makes them all fucking crazy and energetic. And for me, it makes me more calm and tunnel visioned. So I was just clearing that up. I'm not a big drug user. I do like weed. Don't smoke it a ton because it kind of takes away my desire to edit. But I'm not really that into mushrooms. I'm a giant Joe Rogan fan, and I wish I was more into mushrooms just because I want to relate to some of the shit he talks about. But I've done it a few times, and I don't know. Sometimes you just know what's for you and what isn't for you, but Dan seems really happy. All right, here's some more with Dan the Man.
I can do it. I can do it. I can make it happen. You paid your tab already? Classic lobby talk. Can I grab 2 shots of vodka? Because this lobbyist has already paid his tab. I'm just kidding. I love it. I'm a big fan. 2 shots of vodka for me and the guy dressed like a child.
Yeah, so as you can see, we're getting pretty hammered. But fortunately, I don't change a lot when I get drunk. I can put it back. We're on shot 7 at this point, and I was sipping on something on stage. And I just got to wear down Dan. I just told him he was dressed like a child, and he loved it, squealed. I'm now taking jabs at him for being a lobbyist, which, you know, people have resentments towards lobbyists, but you still think they're like smart people, and people respect people with high incomes. And it seems kind of mysterious and fun. But, you know, it's for the picking. I can just dig right into this guy. And he's having fun. All right, here's the next one. But, you know, I'm taking shots at Dan. I love honesty.
I love honesty. I love transparency, unlike Washington, D.C. Listen, I know you're one of the good ones because you're dressed like a crayon. You're dressed like a cone on the highway to let people know not. Dude, Dan is the man.
This is getting so interesting. And this is why I'm never going to be big on YouTube, is I can't bring myself to title this Owen Benjamin Destroys Lobbyist. Because it's not sincere. That would be watched. People would watch that. That would get a ton of views, but it's not sincere to the situation. Because I'm now roasting a lobbyist. That would spread. But I just can't. It makes my skin crawl. Like, I'll kind of do that. Like, why men are pigs, I titled a video, which is, it's accurate to the joke, but I kind of knew it would get shared a lot and watched, and it did. But I just want people to trust me and just to know that it's going to be a good story. And this is a great story, but I'm just going to title it Dan the Man. Oh, and if you can help me on Patreon, patreon.com/WDTL, pledge $1 a month, $3, $25. Some legends do $25. but I don't make any differences in the class. Whether it's $1.25 a month, that just means what you can afford to help the podcast, because we're not rolling with sponsors these days because my podcast network shut down and I have to pay for this shit. So it helps. It's not profitable, but it breaks even now because of your help. Even with the gift card, I had $100 profit, and actually I got it from my fucking credit card points. But you guys kind of have given more than I needed to break even, so I just felt like giving some of that shit away. All right, let's see where we're at now. By the way, I didn't sleep last night because I'm in a hotel room with a baby, and I had morning radio. But one night of no sleep doesn't even really affect me until I do long podcasts and I realize that I'm stuttering a little bit. But I'll still do the show tonight. And then tonight I'll sleep fucking great. I get pretty run down if I sleep like 4 hours a night for a week, then I'm fucking irritable and a disaster. But, you know, I didn't sleep today. We went to the beach with the family. I did an 8-mile run, doing a podcast. Fine. Tomorrow, if I don't get enough sleep, I will become the Unabomber. All right, let's see what's up next.
And maybe he knows something I don't know. Then maybe that is the song that gets you to the charts. Maybe that's my biggest mistake. So I'm not going to close tonight as a comedian. I've already done that pretty goddamn well, given the fact that I was facing off with a fucking psychedelic dinosaur the whole night. Fucking dragon came out of Narnia. I'm into it. I'm into it. No, I'm a fan. You know I'm a fan. I'm going to close the real boy.
Hammered. And it's funny, I was just going on that little talking about YouTube manipulation when that was what I was talking about there. I didn't even put that together. Oh, and if you want to see something funny, go on my Instagram. I made a list of all the celebrities that die every year. 2016 wasn't a big deal. It was just like any other year. For me, it was a wonderful year. But I think people thinking that celebrity deaths are this new thing, or politics sucking is a new thing, I think it's an inability to accept reality. That celebrities die, that Carrie Fisher dies, and you probably should have been nicer to her while she was alive. And by the way, when I say that, I'm not saying you listening right now was mean about Carrie Fisher. I did a post about that, and most people were cool and liked it, and some people were like, this is very condescending. I was really nice about Carrie Fisher. I'm like, I'm not talking to you. Like, I'm sure most people were. But a lot of people that I knew in LA called her a crazy bitch until she died, and then they posted memes with quotes that they had never heard before. And I like to point out hypocrisy. All right, let's see what's going on with Dan the Man.
All right. I'm going to say the title of a song that I know you don't know, and I want you to react like it's your favorite song. Like, think of your favorite song in the world. Yours is Anna Got a Navita, obviously. I can read people. I know. I can see into your mind. I didn't see that part. Dan's a sick fucker. Yeah. There's definitely cyanide on his fist. He's murdering me. But when I say the title of a song, react like it's your favorite song, and then we'll go from...
Yeah. I think we can all say that I've kind of beaten Dan in the drinking game. That's what happens when a lobbyist tangos with a comedian. All right, next up. Oh, and I called his favorite song. I don't know. He might have just been blacked out, but he loves Anna Got a Navita. I could tell by his shirt combination. All right, let's see what we got here.
So when I go, you're in a Walgreens, and my website is hugepianist.com. And, you know, get in that social media shit, because that's the future, because these fucking guys. The government. We'll talk after. I'm in. I'm down. I just have to attack you, though, for no reason. Because you literally said, you talked, like, everything I said, you would comment on, like, fucking a John Madden on acid. All right, here we go. Let's do this. Let's close. So when I say the title, freak out, first line, freak out. And thank you so much for coming out. You guys are the fucking best. All right.
All right, my closer these days is pretty intricate. It requires a lot of explaining. And I can tell the crowd isn't as into me and Dan's saga, because I'm now at an hour and 45 minutes. Again, I'm not showing you the jokes. I'm just showing you the chaos. But now I'm just digging it, Dan. I went a little dark for a second about the government. Let's see what we got here. There's only 2 more clips. Let's see what it is. I'm doing this without knowing what the fuck these clips are, because I edited this like 5 days ago and I just numbered them. So I wanted to kind of spontaneously go through it with you.
This next song, I know he's the man. This next song I promised myself I never played again. Until I saw a human crayon. And then there's a shaman once. In one of my mansions, I had a shaman. And he said, when you see the color of psychosis, you will play this song again. And I saw that tonight. I saw a hazard cone in the front row. The colors a man would wear if he was working for a construction company, waving people to the side of a highway. Exactly. He works for Delta on the tarmac. So I'm going to play it again tonight. And I know you know it. God damn it, I know you people know this song. It's called OTPHJ.
Okay, I'm now 15 shots deep. And to be honest, kind of digging my performance, kind of in the moment. I think, because I'm playing the part of a rock star here, and I think part of it is just being hammered. So, I don't know, this just says close. I don't know what this is. I'm going to play my last clip now.
I love you, Pittsburgh. I'm Owen Benjamin. Good night. Give it up for Dan the Man.
All right, so that's how we ended the saga with Dan the Man. And I love the sound guy in Pittsburgh. Despite the last episode about the bad sound, that wasn't his fault at all. A speaker just blew, it happens. Pittsburgh's a solid club. But I love when they've seen my act a couple times and they just know to close with a Coldplay song. It's pretty funny. But did you see Dan lose his fucking mind? So, I don't know. There's no learning in this episode. This episode is just sheer joy, where we just watched a lobbyist and a comedian try and outdrink each other. I won. I just think it was because I was bigger and I wasn't on mushrooms. Amy, you want to say hi to the people?
Sure.
This is my wife, Amy. Yeah. You want to say hello? Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Nice.
I'm doing a jig.
That's a good jig, baby. So I gotta bounce. But share this episode, because my shit doesn't really go viral because it's all way too long, and I don't title it anything provocative because it makes my skin crawl. So share it, because subscriptions to the podcast are huge for me. It's kind of how people come out to see me now that I'm not in Los Angeles. So spread that shit. And if you see Dan the Man, tell him I still want to be an oil lobbyist. Actually, not really. I don't want to be an oil lobbyist at all, because I'd probably have to wear a ridiculous shirt and be outdrank by a fucking legend like me. So go to hugepianist.com. I think I'm going to be able to put up my tour dates. Me and the fam are on vacation, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to. But definitely buy beer coasters for $5 on the website, and check out Case Closed Beers Open. Comment. I've seen that some of you guys comment when I ask you to, and I really appreciate it. You don't have to comment. I enjoy when you write to me. The letters have been fucking heartwarming, and if I haven't written you back, it's because I was drunk when I read it. But I may have cried, and then I lose it in junk mail. But yeah, share this shit and comment, because it's all about algorithms. Again, not my ego. It's the more comments this podcast gets, the more people see it, because we are being run by artificial intelligent overlords. I just saw the documentary Citizen 4, and it kind of blew my mind. Even though I've been extremely optimistic lately because of the cross-country skiing in Saranac Lake, New York, and the good family vibes, and Walter still being a smiley little fucker, even though everyone keeps telling me that, you know, the apocalypse is coming with being a dad. Still hasn't come. You know, I lose sleep, but it's the best thing that ever happened to me. And I can't wait to see you, London and Manchester and Dublin and Belfast. Hello, my name is Chris Martin. I am in the band Coldplay. Please come to my show. All right, much love. Stay hydrated, everybody.